So this is the Sonic 3 review. I'm going to start speeding through this one because the mic was off the entire video. Like, I started getting to the third act, but then I realized the mic was off. So we got to start again. Okay, this will contain spoilers. We'll be explaining the entire plot in complete detail. The ending, the post-credit scene, the final battle, all that. So, if you don't want that, get out. Like, save yourself. Watch the movie because I highly recommend it. First positive with this movie, Shadow. With Keanu Reeves' performance and the way they portray his backstory, and the way they portray his character in general, amazing. It makes you care. Like, I love it. It's like, that's something I think the games lack sometimes, and people forget about. It's like, Maria, who? Why am I supposed to care? This is why I'm supposed to care. Like, he starts with this awesome sequence of Shadow breaking out, and it's all because he's remembering Maria playing a guitar cover of Live and Learn. It's like, which is pretty cool. Then it cuts to Sonic and friends having a race. Like, it's Sonic and friends having a race, and it's actually a distraction for them to, set up Sonic's party, his Earth Day, birthday, which is like when the day he came to Earth. And then Tom and Sonic go into Sonic's cave that he was living in Sonic 1. Like, and he's reminiscing, like, the pain never went away. Like, I had to move forward. I had to remember the love. And then Tom's like, hey, you have to make the right choices. It's like we all have the chance to make the right choices. But then we cut back to Shadow, like, in Tokyo. And he figures out the year is 2024. And he figures out he's been trapped in the pod for 50 years. Like, half a century. And then guns surround Shadow, and then Shadow crashes out. Then Gun goes to find Team Sonic and recruit their help, which they happily take. And then when they're jumping out the helicopter, Sonic's like, so talk about cheap flights, there's like something like that. It's like, talk about cheap flights, no TV or movies, we're out of here. WSA2 reference. So they go down and see Shadow. They try and talk to him, but then Knuckles goes in and gets comboed. Then the rest of them get comboed. And then he goes on the motorcycle with the laser gun. Don't try and follow me. Sonic goes and follows him. Shadow shooting the laser gun at him. And then they end up going up this building, and they end up taking out all the power in Tokyo. Like, and then Sonic is tied up. Then they go back to this Chow Cafe. Also, negative. Sonic's humor in this, half of his jokes were, like, not funny at all. They were, like, garbage. It's like, half of the comedy comes from Jim Carrey, which could be a problem in the future. We'll get into that later. So, my fault. Anyways, Commander Walters comes in, the Olive Garden general, and he's like, Sonic. So, this guy's on the loose, his name is Shadow. He tells the backstory of Shadow. He came from a meteor, and they started doing experimentations on him. Then one day, his power was too much to handle, and it caused an explosion that killed a lot of people. So, and then Robotnik's drones come in and kill Commander Walters. Before he dies, he's like, Sonic, take this key. It's to the most powerful weapon that gun has ever built. And then he just dies. So then the Kristen Ritter's character, what's her name? I forgot her name. But she comes in and she's like, oh, I knew I couldn't trust their kind. Like, what? Like, where did you get this conclusion from? Also, another thing. This fixes the problem from Sonic 2 and flips it on its head. The pacing in this is extremely breakneck, extremely fast. The second movie was extremely slow, and the action was spread out. Here's action, 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 more action. You can't get enough of it. So, somebody shut down the drones in the Chow Cafe. And that was Agent Stone, who leads them to Robotnik because they need his help to find Shadow. And he's watching this telenovela, and his whole place is a mess. He's got an Eggman fat. And he's just very depressed. And he has a very strange attachment to his robots. Like they're his family. Because they kind of are the only family he ever knew. Get into that later. And so they go and track one of his bots. Ironically, to the base where Shadow was experimented on. And then we cut to Shadow. We cut back to Shadow. And he's reminiscing about the past. Again, this movie makes you care about Shadow and Maria. It shows you what they used to do, watch movies, do goofy stuff around the base. He's they're just having fun. He was the first and only person that didn't treat him as just a lab experiment, a monster. And Shadow was when they were watching a movie, he was getting scared. And he was everybody sees me as the terrible monster we watched from that movie. And then Maria's you are my friend, and you can be whoever you want to be. It's portrayed so sweet. That's why it's so heartbreaking. It's I love the way they portray it, but the negative with this is that it feels every time they tell a piece of this, they just stop the plot to do it. That's what I don't like. It messes up the pacing a little bit, but not too bad. So anyway, they infiltrate the base, and Shadow sneaks attacks and drops all of them. And Knuckles are always I am not afraid of anything. I am an echidna warrior. And Sonic's what about that time we watched Casper the Friendly Ghost? Ah! It was so funny. That was hilarious, bro. Some of the humor falls flat, but some of it is just hilarious. So, Team Sonic and Agent Stone get dropped, and Robotnik encounters his grandpappy, Gerald Robotnik. And they do this Joker's it's an uncanny resemblance. It's we're two characters in a movie being played by the same actor. Get out! So anyway, Robotnik quickly turns to his side. No duh. And Shadow uses his chaos energy to power this thing that makes a black hole to suck them up and kill them. So Team Robotnik escapes, and with the help of Knuckles' teeth and Sonic's ring trick shots, they escape back to Tom and Maddie's house, which they are so bored. It's I find that funny because they balance the human stuff in this, which the stuff that they do with them is actually important. They actually help, and they're just so bored at home doing nothing after they've been in the action for the last two movies. And they're Tom and Maddie, we need your help in a super important spy mission. They're immediately okay, we're in. So pretty much, they have to get in the gun base to infiltrate this vault to get the second key, so the Robotniks don't get it. Now the vault is blocked by the laser room, which could cut you up into little pieces, and then the base itself is blocked by a force field that can cut you up into little pieces. And Sonic just wants to rush in, and Knuckles just wants to punch everything. Tails chat. We need to slow down. And then also, here's another negative I just realized. Team Sonic themselves don't really get any development at all. I guess they all get their moments, but especially Sonic, but because he's the main character, but still. As far as character development goes, there's a lot more movie 2 than there was 3. So, yeah. So Tom and Maddie infiltrate the gun base. I'm going to say infiltrate a lot, by the way, now. they infiltrate the gun base by turning into Rachel and Randall. And I like how they incorporated them in the movie, so they could come back but not be back. Because I thought they were kind of funny, not gonna lie. So they get in and start hacking the security system with Tails' thing. They do this joke where it's like, where the USB drive isn't working, so Tom and Maddie just blow on it and it works again. Hey, that was funny. But then the Robotniks have already gotten in the base and hacked the system. So and then another thing, Agent Stone and Robotnik, or Eggman, like he's left out for a lot of it because Eggman's hanging out with his grandfather. That's a plot line. He's basically abandoned, pretty much. He's pretty much abandoned in the movie. So, like, pretty much he's just left to his own devices. He's taking care of Shadow, watching telenovelas. And when it's like, I fell in love to another, Shadow's like, Gabrielle should kill them both. Get revenge. And then Stone's like, everything's revenge with you, so you don't have to worry about it, Shadow, because we're about to rule the world. But then Shadow's like, when we're done, there won't be anything left to rule. And Agent Stone's like, wait, hold on. What do you mean by that? Then we cut back to Robotnik and Gerald. Like, and they're about to win, but they do the goofiest scene first. They do this goofy hot dancing scene. Like, this is why, like, villains wonder why they don't win when they're about to win. What they be doing. Because the suits Eggman made, like, deflect the lasers, so... For this movie, you could just feel it all over. They just gave millions of dollars to Jim Carrey and said, go in front of that camera, you could do whatever you want for 2 hours. This is what he came up with. He moved for 110.
Push the button.
So good. Brings me to my next point. Jim Carrey is hilarious in this movie, but for reasons we'll get into later, I feel like the next movies will suffer comedy-wise because he won't be there. Because, first of all, he might be retiring. Secondly, we'll get into it soon. But they get into the vault. And Sonic gets into the vault. Like, he was about to get, like, incinerated by the force field, but Tails clutches and spins him right in. So that was Tails' moment, by the way. That's the most he does, bro. Anyways, so they all get trapped by this anti-gravity thing by the Kristen Ritter, the general. And she's like, yeah, I knew what you were doing from the start. You fell into my trap. And you all fell into my trap. And then Tom and Maddie and the gun soldiers come. He's like, funny seeing you here, doctors. And then this is my favorite joke in the movie. Where Ivo was like, I can't believe this. And Gerald was like, I know. A woman in the military. Like, comedy. Peak comedy. Yeah, but their whole mission pretty much is to... So Gerald's been trapped in prison for 50 years. Hold, please. He's been trapped in prison for 50 years. And in exchange to get out of prison, he designed the greatest weapon of all time, the Eclipse Cannon, which has the power to destroy Earth, and which is stored under the London Bridge. That's what the key is for. That's what all this is for. So then Knuckles comes in with the flames of disaster and frees everyone for a limited time until everybody is caught by the anti-gravity. And Robotnik and the Christian Ritter General are trying to go for the keys. and she ends up getting it. Then Tom, Maddie, and Tails are in danger because the debris are about to fall on them. Sonic frees everyone by trying to save them, which he does. So Tom, with the cloaking technology, turns into the Olive Garden General and gets the key back. But then Shadow comes and punches him square in the stomach and knocks him out cold, almost to the point of death. So Sonic comes in and he says, "What did you do?" And Shadow says, "What I had to." And he chaos controls to the Robotniks, who have the key now. And they launch the Eclipse Cannon into the sky, or into space, right above Earth. Now, this is where the movie really starts to lock in. After this, Agent Stone calls Robotnik. He's like, "Doctor, I don't think your grandfather wants to do what you do." But then, like, Robotnik, so overcome with the joy of just having a family member there, he's like, "Oh no, you're just jealous, you're just trying to take him away from me. So bye-bye, Stone." And then they are done. But then it is revealed Gerald's plan, Gerald and Shadow's, or mainly Gerald's plan, is not to rule humanity with the Eclipse Cannon, but to destroy it. He wants to destroy what took Maria from him. And the Robotnik's like, "What? What do you mean?" And he's like, "You don't understand. You're no Maria." And I was like, "Dang, really? Like, to your own grandson?" Like, so he really meant nothing to him. Just a Maria stand-in, pretty much. Just another way to complete his plan. So with this third act of the movie, which is pretty much almost the entire second half, it's like, it switches from this comedy to this, like, dramatic end-of-the-world stakes, which it does pretty naturally. Like, so Sonic is big mad, obviously, and he wants to use the Master Emerald to take out Shadow and take out the Robotniks. And Knuckles is like, "No, we must not use the Master Emerald for revenge." And I thought they were about to fight again, but Knuckles ends up yielding. It's like, part of my oath is to trust you guys. So I'm going to tell you where it is, but don't be mad at me when I'm mad at you later. So the Master Emerald is with Wade, and he's playing hockey with it. So Sonic takes it, he goes into super form, and he rushes to the Eclipse Cannon. So Shadow is on the spacecraft, and he's starting to question, like, "Doctor, is this real? What are we supposed to do?" And then Gerald, being the manipulator, the whole mastermind, like, one part of this I didn't like. It's like, it kind of feels unnatural how he switched from this goofy scientist guy to, like, this malicious psychopath that wants to kill humanity. I don't think they did that as naturally as they could have. Like, they could have had more of a progression throughout the movie, or more of a reveal throughout the movie than just, it's revealed that he's a psychopath. Like, yeah, but anyway. So they remember the day that Maria was killed. So gun soldiers were infiltrating the base to try and take away Shadow because he's too dangerous. So Gerald and Maria and Shadow are running, and one of the soldiers is about to shoot Shadow. And then, like, General Walters is like, no, stop. There's kids there. And then he's like, "We have orders. We gotta follow them." So he shoots, but he ends up shooting a capsule that contains Shadow's energy, and ends up blowing up the entire place and kills Maria. Like, Maria and then Shadow and Gerald are hovering over Maria's body as gun soldiers start to surround them. His eyes start to fill with, his eyes physically start to fill with energy, like, pain and hurt. And then it goes back to the present, and Shadow starts running and powering the Eclipse Cannon. Like, so after it is done, we have Sonic coming back and snatches Shadow from the Eclipse Cannon. And they start one of the best fights of all time. So they start fighting, and Shadow's like, now you know the pain I felt for 50 years, the choices I've made, what I had to do. He's like, you would have done the same. And then, like, they go to this random, like, mountain, wherever on Earth. Shadow punches Sonic out of the super form. They both go for the Chaos Emeralds. And then this happens.
You were right about one thing. This ends now.
And they just start having a Dragon Ball fight. Like a straight up Dragon Ball fight. Like they are punching each other across the world, destroying mountains, setting off volcanoes. It is awesome. Like look at that.
What's happening?
Then Ivo betrays Gerald.
Open. Ivo! What are you doing? Thwarting your evil plan!
They have each other in a mustache hold. And then he makes this joke.
Oh, a nano fist. I haven't seen that since I hate-watched Green Lantern in 2011. I was saving it for Comic-Con, but now there won't be a Comic-Con!
And they're still fighting. Then he says, Shadow says this. What is this?
Why are you alone? Where are your friends? They tried to stop you, didn't they? But you came anyway. Your anger was too much. What kind of hero abandons his friends to pursue revenge? Abandons his family?
Don't you dare talk about my family.
And here I thought you cared for them. Especially the one, what's his name? Tom.
And Sonic is about to kill Shadow here. But he realizes what Tom said before. Hold up.
Here.
Life is all the choices we make.
Let your pain change who you are. In here.
And Shadow's like, why didn't you
Not
take...
who I am.
He's like, why didn't you just take revenge? And then, a complaint about this movie, even before it came out, was like, this feels like it's going to be similar to Knuckles and Sonic and how he turned good. But they do it differently. It's like they do it so differently. And then I remember Shadow said this awesome quote before.
Look at all those stars. They're like diamonds.
The last time I sat beneath stars like this,
Please don't copyright me, Paramount.
I was with her. I felt this pain for so long. It's all I know.
When I lost Longclaw,
So they were able to bond over their pain. But Shadow took revenge, while Sonic embraced the love they felt for each other.
The light shines, even though the star is gone.
They forgot about the Eclipse Skin and still got to destroy Earth.
This whole mess is my fault. I've been so blinded by rage, I thought...
that when you really screw something up, you can't
Start
fix it on
playing
your own.
more of SA2.
ready to recycle some tin cans?
Just trying to keep up.
I love the Living Man cover too. The airship, the choreography is on top, and the chemistry you can feel. Look at that shot, bro. Look at that and tell me that isn't just amazing. And then
Get to work day is over.
I don't know how they're both not down here.
Better. And I'm not gonna say it if that's the way you're gonna be.
He was gonna say I love you.
Okay, bye.
No, the way he dies is so dark though. So Tails and Knuckles comes and saves him.
Life was pointless. Huh? All right. You did.
Into the chaos energy. He goes.
What you want about my granddad? He made one hell of a bug zapper.
We gotta stop that laser!
I knew there was something I was forgetting.
Yeah, so like Earth's about to be destroyed, and they won't have enough time to shut it down. So Sonic and Shadow just take the blast directly. So what did they try to do? They try and steer the Eclipse Cannon away from the Earth until it stops.
It's a little tight.
But then Sonic is getting tired. Getting out of the suit. It barely misses the Earth. Hooray! We're not going to talk about this.
I did it! Look what you did!
We're just not going to talk about the repercussions of that. So Tails launches out to go save Sonic. And Shadow
What's happening? The react.
is it the reactor's overloading, and Robotnik has to contain it while Shadow pushes it away. So Tails tries to save Sonic. He's a tank. So Shadow takes off his starts pushing away the cannon. It's a surprisingly emotional, like, heroic moment for Robotnik, where he sacrifices himself. Like he tries to contain the.
To one very special Hedgehog. Agent Stu.
And he makes the announcement to the world.
Don't wait.
Agent Stone.
If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it.
That was cold.
Forget about me. Don't do this, Doctor, please.
Not gonna lie, I was actually kind of
You
too.
are more than a sycophant to me. You were a sickle friend.
He was his, like, he realized he was his family the entire time. The Eclipse Cannon blows up.
I guess there's only one thing left to say. It's been a real drag. Thanks for nothing.
The Eclipse Cannon blows up, taking Robotnik and Shadow with it. Then they land in this crop field.
And the
Sonic
best friends.
apologizes to them for trying to go
Can
too
you
far.
ever forgive me?
Team Sonic.
It does show a little maturity here. Like, Sonic is able to learn from Shadow. And here, the movie ends
It's the blue blurs. Often imitated, never duplicated. The one, the only.
And that's how the movie ends. But then there is the giant post-credit scene that sets up Sonic 4 quite clearly. Sonic overshot the race, but then something appeared behind him. I told Sonic.
Okay, so how do I get back?
Now I'll discuss Sonic 4. Yeah, but Sonic is able to punch him. But then there's an army of Metal Sonics that show up. And they're all like grayer than the main blue one. Then someone comes in missing.
What? Who are you?
First of all, the design is amazing. Metal Sonic's design, I love it, but like it feels a little video gamey, if that makes sense. Like too much like a video game. But obviously, this is gonna take inspiration from Sonic CD, which both of these characters first appeared in, which involves a lot of time travel. So there's still some hope for Silver to be included in this story somewhere. Things like, and there could be a chance for Robotnik to return, because Robotnik was like half the comedy in these movies. It kind of needs them. He needs him to be funny. Then there's a second post-credit scene, which isn't that as important, which is Shadow picking up his inhibitor ring, showing that he's alive. They're probably gonna do a Shadow spin-off. I don't know if he's gonna do with Black Doom or something, but like they're probably gonna do one. So Sonic 4 releases in spring of 2027, which is not that as far as it sounds actually. Like, that's crazy to think that 2027 isn't that far. It's not as far as that sounds. So overall, even with some of its issues, Sonic 3, like, sets the stage for a great Sonic cinematic universe and improves these films as movies. So as a movie, I think I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. As a Sonic movie, a 9 out of 10, so total 8.5 out of 10. The comedy was a little distracting in the first half of the movie, but that's really my only negative. And some of the pacing with Maria's backstory was off. And there's a lot of, like, exposition. And another negative, like, I feel like Team Sonic themselves, again, didn't get as much development as I wanted them to when the villains did. And that development was great, especially Robotnik's story. Like, that whole ending actually had me tearing up. Not crying, tearing up. But it sets up Sonic 4, which I'm excited for that. That involves a lot of time travel, so I feel like we need to go off planet next movie. Like, we can't stay on Earth forever. I feel like this is where the extent of the Earth story ends. So, yeah, Shadow will return probably at some point. Yeah, but 8.5 out of 10, I loved this. Like, and, yeah, that's pretty much it. Next video will probably be the big ranking and the most. That is it. Bye, 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 bye.